6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
I could be learning, you could be yearning to see what's behind these closed doors. But I promise you,
Alright, guys, welcome to the semifinals and finals of the CWC Review Cruiserweight Classic. First off, I want to thank you guys for continuing to support our brand. It's Real Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for showing us love on Twitter and on YouTube. So keep that up. Please help us grow by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. And don't forget, we do have our website, which is live down there, IRWP.us. So please be sure that you subscribe to that, or bookmark it, I should say. So, sadly, this is it. This is the Cruiserweight Classic, or the first inaugural Cruiserweight Classic, has come to an end, and there were a few surprises and some upsets. But overall, this was definitely a great experience for anyone who grew up watching the cruiserweights, and not us not having that now is a tragedy. But it's great that WWE's recognized the whole, and they are deciding to fill that. So we actually had a total of 4 matches during this, including an intermission match. The first match of the night was Gran Metalik versus Saber Jr. It was a really great match right out of the gate. Gran Metalik puts on a series of offense moves, and when he went for a pen, or actually he went for a combination pen, within like 30 seconds, like the entire sequence, him drop kicking, getting him outside the ring, doing an over top maneuver, getting him in the ring, and then penning him all 30 seconds within the match, which was pretty awesome. It showed the urgency of the fight, so I thought that was pretty awesome. We actually had the opportunity to see Zack Saber Jr. sell, which this has been my main complaint with him throughout the entire tournament. Like I think he's fantastic and he's great in the ring. He does unique moves, unique holds, which I like a lot. But we never got to see him like fully sell anything. So that was good to see ZSJ actually sell in here. Now this match was a bit more technical than high flying, as you're usually accustomed to seeing Grand Metalik's matches. So we didn't get to see him do a lot of over the top moves. Grand Metalik in one spot, Grand Metalik was whiplashed to the corner, but this one is actually countered with a series of super kicks, reverse sling blade. Oh, I should say, let me go back. So the Grand Metalik was actually whiplashed by Zack Saber Jr. To the corner, but Grand Metalik actually counters using like a super kick, and then he follows that up with a reverse sling blade, and then hits the standing shooting star press. I gotta say, with Grand Metalik, the thing that I like about him the most is that it's not just one move that he does. He does a series of combination moves, and you don't really see that a lot throughout the entire tournament. There's maybe a couple of people who actually do it, and it's very fluid when he does it, which is something that I thoroughly enjoy. Now, one of my favorite moves of this particular match was when Zack Saber Jr. does his penalty kick, And then also when Gran Metalik does the Hurricane Runner while Zack Saber Jr. was hanging from the ropes. So I thought that was pretty awesome, very innovative. Never seen that before, or it's been quite some time since I've seen something like that. So I thought that was great. Ultimately, Gran Metalik wins this by hitting the Metalik driver. At the end of the match, the Grand Metalik is awarded like a silver medal that signifies that he was the winner of his bracket. William Regal is the one who actually presents him with this medal. Now, at this point, it got a little weird. Um, Charlie comes down and does her post-match interview with Grand Metalik. She asks him a series of questions, just basically asking him, how are you going to prepare how are you going to prepare for the next match in the tournament? Andrea was there to kind of like interpret, but Charlie didn't even give it an opportunity to translate at all, which I thought was completely um, weird. I don't know if I hope it's not anything like shadiness, or maybe she just forgot, or something to that effect, or um, maybe Charlie. Well, so last time I went to the NXT event, Charlie was very fluent in Spanish. So I'm guessing that that's what it was. Maybe she understood it, but didn't give Andrea the opportunity um, to reply, or to translate it to the crowd or to the viewers. So I'm thinking that that's what it was. So um, you got to be a bit cognizant of that because you can't get away with that on live TV. So uh, I hope that gets taken back from feedback. So anyhow, the next match of the night was the Kota Ibushi versus TJP, TJ Perkins. So um, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. I mean, this a review of this match would not do it justice. So strongly recommend that if you haven't watched this match, that you go back and watch it. I will do the best that I can to paraphrase this for you guys. But I will say that this was a very strong style match from both sides. TJP was all over Kota Ibushi throughout the entire match, which I thought was fantastic. Seeing as though Kota Ibushi is the favorite to win the entire thing. His movesets are great. He sells very great. He's just overall the cruiserweight that you want to see dominate this division. And one thing I did notice about TJP is that in his prior matches with prior to him fighting Rich Swann, it was very showboaty-ish. Like he would dab on him all the time, and just do those kind of showboat moves and things of that nature. It wasn't until he fought Rich Swann that you just saw a change in TJP, that he just took things a bit more serious. I thought this was more of a maturity. You from the very beginning, from the first round up until the semifinal match, you saw a maturity within TJP, which I thought was important to outline in his progression through the tournament. TJB had a plan going into this match, no doubt about it. He constantly was working the knee of Kota Ibushi to soften him up for the knee bar. I believe that he put him in the move like 4 or 5 times throughout the match, which I thought was pretty awesome as well. Now there was a spot during the match where TJP takes a beating outside of the ropes with like multiple kicks to the chest. This was like insane, and I was surprised that, like, his chest wasn't red. I really thought that it was going to swell up throughout, by the end of the match. It didn't, but in his, you saw it later on you saw it later on. There was a spot later on that actually showed where his chest, where he was getting kicked, was was all red. So that was pretty awesome. Now we saw something interesting related to like counters and kickouts towards the end of the match. Kota goes for the Pele kick, but that gets countered into the knee bar. And Kota later then hits his finisher, which I think this move is amazing, the Golden Star Power Bomb. But surprisingly, TJP actually kicks out of this move. I'm like, what is going on? Like at this point, I'm second guessing myself and asking, like, is Kota Ibushi going to lose to TJP? Because it sure as heck is starting to look like it. So later, Kota again goes for the Golden Star Power Bomb, But again, TJP gets this countered into a modified knee bar, and sure enough, TJP submits Kota Ibushi. Now, the one thing I want to say before we go into to the next is that like the modification that TJP did um, to the to the arm, or not the arm bar, but to the knee bar. I liked it because it reminded me like heavily how in WCW Chris Jericho would modify his lion tamer. So he would go into the Boston Crab, and then he would lift it up to where like his shoulder and neck were pinned to them, like his opponent's shoulder and neck were pinned to the mat, and he would just lean back. And that's what I love. That the difference between the walls of Jericho and the lion tamers, that the lion tamers literally you're pulling them all the way back, and it looks like it hurts a lot more. This is what TJP did as well. Like he folds he does the knee bar, folds the back of his legs up, and then he reaches up in front, and then kind of like underneath his chin gets him in a like a camel clutch, and just kind of anchors him back. And Kota Ibushi had no. He was in the center of the ring. There was nothing else to do but to actually tap out, and that's exactly what he did. So this was definitely an upset, and probably one of the best matches of the night. Props goes out to that sign girl who, throughout the entire series, had that dab on him TJ P sign. That was pretty awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that. After the match William Regal comes down and also awards TJP with a medal, signifying that he is the winner of his bracket. So kind of like the East meets the West kind of thing. Now we get an intermission match between DYI, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa, and Noam Dar and Cedric Alexander. It's a tag team match. This is kind of quick, semi-quick match. And this I think was just more to showcase DYI than anything else. So I believe that DYI is going to go again for the tag team titles against the Revival at NXT. So again, it was a throwaway match. It did showcase more of Noam Dar and Cedric Alexander, which I do strongly believe that these two guys are getting signed to the Raw Cruiserweight division. Again, don't take the loss for anything other than just it showcasing the talent and to kind of progress DYI. After this match is over, we actually get into the finals. TJP versus Gran Metalik. Now, as they start the match is about to get under the way, and the ref is about to call for the belt. We get a surprise entrance from Triple H, which I thought was kind of weird. I had this sneaking suspicion that he was going to bring something else other than, or showcase something else other than the trophy. So he made a little speech, and outside the ring, I noticed that there was another referee there, and he was holding like a satchel kind of thing. So the first thing that came to my mind is we're getting the cruiserweight belt, and sure enough, they pull out the cruiser, or Triple H pulls out the cruiserweight belt, holds it up, showcases it. The belt looks stylish. I absolutely love it. I believe like it's like a hexagon shape for the individual metal pieces, which I thought was cool with a world in there. The only thing that's missing from any of these belts is just the eagle, which I know that a lot of us want to see, but hey, we can dream. I actually absolutely love this belt. It's probably my favorite belt in terms of design throughout the two brands, SmackDown and Raw. So definitely look forward to seeing that belt going forward. It has a purple strap, which I think is kind of weird considering that the main belts, for the exception of the U.S. belt on Raw, are red. So I don't know if they plan on making that belt like later on down the road between both brands or not. I don't think that it would be smart for them to do that. I mean, if you want, have all cruiserweights on one brand and kind of stick to that. But more to come as we progress through the weeks on that. So this match was a bit different than what we were traditionally used to seeing from both TJP and Gran Metalik. This was a bit more of a grounded and a technical match in nature. A lot of mat wrestling on here, which was not it's not a bad thing. I absolutely love mat wrestling. Dean Malenko is one of my favorite mat wrestlers of all time. So to see them actually do this and do this well really struck a chord with me. I will say that the theme of this match was really Gran Metalik putting a beating on TJP and TJP trying to endure the onslaught. So I thought that was a great story that they were telling. The move of the night had to be Gran Metalik's Hurricane Rana over the outside of the rope and onto the floor. This was an insane spot. I mean, he literally cleared the top rope from the mat to do this move, which I thought was insane. He gets back in the ring and does a tope that TJP does not catch him on at all. I mean, he literally jumps over he literally jumps over the top of the ropes and onto the floor, which I think is about 15, 20 feet. Insane. I honestly thought he was hurt, but he got up and continued the match. So props to Gran Metalik on that. Towards the end of the match, Gran Metalik sells a knee injury, so and this is more evident when he tries to hit he does hit the Metalik driver, but it's not a full Metalik driver. It's more of a release or a fall away slam, which at this point it is starting to look like TJP is going to be the victor of this match. Now he goes for a super Metalik driver from the top ropes, but this gets countered into a knee bar. This was sick. Like he literally had him on his shoulders. He was going to hit the Grand Metalik driver, and you have to watch this in slow motion because at full speed it looks sloppy. Like it looks like someone messed up. But if you slow it down a bit, you can actually see where TJP pulls his Grand Metalik's leg to the ground and pulls him off of the turnbuckle and hits the can't say hits, but puts him into the Grand Metalik drivers. I mean, the knee bar. So I thought that was pretty awesome. There was nowhere for Grand Metalik to go. His knee was shot. He sold this very, very well and ended up submitting. And we had our new winner, the new cruiserweight champion, TJ Perkins. I want to say, just on a personal level, I understand how it is to be homeless. And it's not a very, it's a terrible experience. It'll either make you or break you. So, congratulations to this kid. Um, Not giving up. This is an inspiration to anyone who, who falls on hard times. Don't ever give up. Just stick in there, stay with there. Um, good things will come. So, TJP, congratulations to you, buddy. You literally started as a homeless guy, and now you're the new cruiserweight champion, the face of the division. So, congratulations. And I can honestly say that looking back at week one, I didn't foresee TJP being the champion or winner of this particular tournament, but they told an excellent story with him, not just from his personal experience, but more importantly, as a wrestling fan inside the ring. I can't wait to see your upcoming matches, TJP, going forward. I think they're going to be great. For this particular tournament in itself, this is the first year, and you can kind of hear in the commentary and in Triple H at the end with his speech that this is definitely going to be something that's going to be on an annual basis. Now, my thought process behind it is that this is a way that we're going to be able to transition new people into the division and give the winner of the tournament a how do you say a shot at the cruiserweight title. So this is definitely going to be great. I will say that out of the 32 people that participated into the tournament, I would have to say that if I had to pick 8 people to be on the roster, I'm not saying that, and I want to preface this, guys. Like, I don't know who's gonna get signed. We're gonna find that out pretty shortly here within the week. I don't know who's going to be signed, but I would say that we're going to have somewhere between 8 and 10 or 8 and 12 people from this division on here on a regular basis. So if I had to pick 8 people that I would want to see alongside TJP, I would have to start with Noam Dar. I love Noam Dar. I think he has the potential of being a great heel wrestler. Um, he's great technical. He's a great flyer. He's just overall well rounded. Cedric Alexander would be my next pick. You only have to see Kota Ibushi versus Cedric Alexander to know why he is great. And that's and leading into that point, Kota Ibushi. You've got to think that they have to sign Kota Ibushi. He was definitely all around. Um, what one of the things that my brother and I were talking about last week is that a great wrestler has the ability to make the person that he is competing against in the ring look good alongside of them, whether or not they're fully carrying the match or not. And I think Kota Ibushi does that. He does that very, very well. He's able to make the other opponent look great. Just look at all the matches that he had. Cedric Alexander showcased Cedric Alexander very, very well, and we got Cedric Alexander like chance of him coming back, and I do strongly believe Cedric Alexander is getting signed. The next match, him against uh, Brian Kendrick, who also is the next person that I want to see in this division. Brian Kendrick looked phenomenal. He Kota Ibushi sold very well for him. Told a great story in the ring together. They had great chemistry together. I could see matches with these two guys for the next 2 to 4 years easily. Um, Gran Metalik, I mean, this guy was truly amazing. For someone who's a little bit of a heavier set, this guy moves very well in the ring. His move sets are amazing. He is crazy. He kind of reminds me a little of Laparca, just in the sense that Laparca just does crazy stuff in the ring with no regards to anything. And that's what I like about Grand Metalik because I feel like he's like that. He just doesn't have the chair to and going around beating other people, so that's cool. Akira Tozawa, this guy was phenomenal in the ring through every match. One of the things that I loved about him is that he's heelish, um, but he's got the appeal on both sides as a face and as a heel wrestler, and he's very comedic in the ring. The match, the spot that he had with Gallagher, where he was tied up in a pretzel for like a good like 30 or 40 seconds, I thought was pretty amazing. And his move sets are absolutely phenomenal, guys. The standing power bomb, or not. This is the second time I've said that. Uh, the dead man lift German suplex, I think is completely amazing. Uh, and I think the crowd will have a lot of fun with this guy if they can get behind it. And that's kind of the one thing that I worry about when Japanese wrestlers or Chinese wrestlers or wrestlers from other countries come in. They're not as receptive to, or the U.S. crowds are not as receptive to these types of personalities, which I'm hoping that Akira Tozawa can change that because he's just a lot of fun in the ring, and you could just definitely tell that during the entire CWC. And then last but not least, the person that I would definitely want to see in here is Rich Swann. I don't know what is going on with Rich Swann. He is one of the best all-around wrestlers that I have ever seen. He was in NXT, just kind of as a, a filler talent, an enhancement talent, I guess is what you would say. But his matches were stellar. If you saw his match in February uh, with the champ, and I should know this right off the bat, and I for some reason I can't. His name's not coming in. The Demon King. There we go. Finn Balor. That match was amazing. That was a pay-per-view match that was on regular TV, which was insane. That match was great. I literally thought that Finn Balor was going to lose that match going in to fighting before he was going to fight Samoa Joe. So Rich Swann is great. He was great throughout this tournament. I love the fact that he has, again, like Kota Ibushi, has the ability to make his opponent better in the ring. So if you guys have not seen this guy, go and see his matches. If you WWE, if you have not signed Rich Swann, I don't know what you guys are waiting for. What the holdup is? This is the man right here. Go and sign this guy. He is fantastic and he's great. So, but that's my review for the CWC, guys. I hope you liked it. This was definitely excellent. I will make sure to upload the rest of the series momentarily. Just been a bit slow on that, but thank you so much for supporting IRWP. It's Real Wrestling Podcast. Please visit us on the web at irwp.us. I am Sage the Mark. You can find me on Twitter at Sage the Mark, at Real WrestleCast on Twitter, as well as my boy Ben Goosen at Ben_Goosen on Twitter. Please like, subscribe to our channel, continue to support us, get the word out. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time and watching these series. If you have any questions, just let us know. Or use the hashtag IRWP, and we will feature you on our next podcast. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful day, and keep it real.